I've been doing a really, really poor job of like cutting right on the spot. So, like, I got it right now. The Guardians trials. We're almost there. I think I said what, 7 or 8 floors? Probably 8. Celeste. Wasn't that the name? Wasn't that the name we saw in those data crystals? That's right. According to those, she was the de facto leader of the group of ancients who sealed away the Ariel. She was also the founder of Liberl's current royal family. I'm glad to see the information I left behind ended up proving useful to someone. It really did. So then you're really the founder of Liberl's royal family. Not technically. I'm not the real Celeste Diosles. Think of me as something of a shadow, or a partial copy her personality created in order to influence Phantasma from within. How can you only be a partial copy? The truth behind you is apparently more complicated than we thought. You don't appear to be a spirit of some kind, though. I see that now. That is correct. Before I try to explain just what I am, I should probably tell you more about what the world we are in is first. You can do that? This should be interesting. Oh, actually there are 7. There's probably 8 though. As you are aware, the land in which you stand is called Phantasma. This is a world belonging to a higher plane of existence created several thousands of years ago by the Ariel. Its purpose was to act as a subsystem for the Ariel in order to incorporate and process the will of the Liberarch's populace. One might call it a self-organized world designed to realize countless possible others as necessary. Pardon? You've lost me. Yeah, isn't there a simpler way to explain this? Well, while not technically correct, perhaps you could think of it this way. Phantasma is like a fictitious realm created by the Ariel in order to fulfill humanity's every wish and desire. That's better. What exactly qualifies Phantasma as fictitious? I can't help but think it far too real to be a land of pure fantasy. When I say a fictitious world, I don't mean to suggest that Phantasma is a complete lie. It's more like a shadow graph or kaleidoscope. It has its own laws and can change to reflect countless different possibilities. Does this make the concept any easier for you to understand? Somewhat, yes. And suddenly the name Phantasma seems that much more appropriate. As I stated previously, it was a subsystem of the Ariel rather than being the Ariel itself, and it helped to grant people's desires. They were separate entities, but effectively like two sides of the same coin. The relationship caught our eye as we were devising the sealing mechanism. You mean the mechanism used to seal away the Ariel? That was also in those data crystals left behind. Exactly. At first, we thought our plan would be impossible to execute. After all, the Ariel had absolute control over space itself and was able to influence mankind's every action. Even after coming upon the idea of temporarily freezing it and imprisoning it with a gravity barrier, we had no way to implement our plans. Without that, they were simply ideas with no real meaning. We were effectively at a total loss. You had discovered your foe's weakness, but had no way to take advantage of it. That must have been quite the frustrating predicament. Indeed. And yet our perseverance rewarded us with the development of something that could take advantage of that weakness. The Recluse Cube. Is that what this is known as, then? Yes. That is the only object in existence to interact with Phantasma without relying on the Ariel as an intermediary. Celeste used that to create a partial copy of her personality, that is, me, inside Phantasma. And once inside, I began working to sabotage Phantasma's functionality by using this garden as my base of operations. As a result of my efforts, the Ariel's processing ability was hindered just long enough for the plan to be executed. He who catches his foe off guard wins the battle. The same principle applies to martial arts too. Sounds like you really put a lot of thought into planning everything. Maybe, but I can't deny that luck played a part in the end. Once the Ariel was sealed away, my work was done and I fell into a deep sleep here. My reason being that if the Ariel were ever unsealed, I might be able to provide assistance to the people of that time. I'm pleased you've been able to handle it just fine without my help, however. Luck's played a huge part for us too, though. We're not even sure where the Ariel is now. As far as we're aware, it disappeared during all that happened at the Liberarch. I thought as much. I was able to confirm the Ariel's disappearance from here within Phantasma too. When I did so, I thought my purpose for existing was finally over, and that all that was left for me in this land was to embrace a slow and peaceful destruction. But that was not to be. Soon the Lord of Phantasma appeared. So that's when it happened. Quite a recent development, I see. The Lord of Phantasma appeared out of nowhere, stealing all of my power before I was even aware what happened. After doing so, they began to remake Phantasma in accordance to their own designs. Both this world's current structure and the planes that make it up were all the Lord of Phantasma's creations. Looks like your theory was correct, Ren. Still, that makes it sound like, yeah. So you don't know who that masked bastard is either, then? I'm afraid not. Their every action thus far has been a mystery. Ordinarily, they should not have been able to gain access to this world in the first place, and I'm afraid I have no idea what they are trying to achieve by bringing all of you in here and testing you. Well, that's a shame. Yeah, that's the part we want to know most of all. I only wish I could be of more help. The only other thing I can say about them is that I suspect the Lord of Phantasma is currently in the 7th plane. There's a 7th? What makes you think that? That was the first plane they created after appearing in this world. Just what kind of place that plane is, I don't know, but I can sense dark and human thoughts from there, and they're spreading out across the whole of Phantasma. That doesn't sound good. And we'll be seeing them after the next one, won't we? Yeah. We just finished the 5th when we came back here. Presuming they're waiting for us on the 7th, the time to fight them head-on may not be that far off. I was getting tired of waiting. As was I. It seems the end may finally be in sight. Now, if only we had some sort of inkling as to what the Lord of Phantasma is trying to achieve. Actually, I just might. What's up, Kevin? Kevin, you're up. It's good to see you again, Father. You too. Wasn't expecting you of all people to get an invitation here. Or you, for that matter, little lady. I'm sure you weren't. I've got something I want to ask you, but I suppose that can wait until later. For sure. For show. Are you sure you're feeling alright? Right as rain. I'm feeling just great. All that sleep must have done me a lot of good. And I see you guys made a whole lot of progress while I was out cold, too. Yeah. Hey, I'm Kevin Graham. Or maybe I don't need to introduce myself since you seem to know a thing or two about everyone who's come in here so far. True, I was able to tell what was happening at the Liberarch from the garden. And out of all the people here, you are the one closest to the truth of what is happening here. Am I wrong? What? No, I don't think you are. I can't pretend to be much of an expert on what Phantasma itself is, but I've got a pretty good idea as to who's responsible for all of this. I can only think of one person twisted enough to put us through all we've been through. Wait, is it someone you know? You could say that, yeah. The short version, they're a real piece of work. A cunning, arrogant, cold-hearted son of a sucker who doesn't even see people as people. That about sums up who we're dealing with. Sounds like a real awful guy. And who, may I ask, is it that you're talking about? Well, about that, would you be willing to wait just a bit longer for the answer to that one? Pretty sure I'm right, but I'm still missing one last thing that'll let me be completely certain. And I think we'll find out just what that is in the 6th plane. And here I thought we were finally going to get an answer. See, this stuff right here is what bugs me. It's like, nah, dog. This doesn't fly. You tell us your theory, and then we get to confirm it later. But I already have my theories, so whatever. Is there any reason you can't share your theory as is? Yeah, I realize I'm asking a lot after we've come so far, but I promise that as soon as I know for sure, I'll talk. You didn't answer his question. I swear on the goddess's name and on the church's emblem. See, the problem here is by the time you reveal it, the person is just going to take off their mask anyway. So it's just like, you're just wasting our time, dog. Just tell us. Well, I don't see any reason to say no. Likewise, he's clearly got his reasons. Not often you ask us for favors, so I can let it slide. No problem here. He says, wait, I'll wait. I feel as though we can trust your judgment, Kevin, so I have no objections either. Is everybody going to say something? Me neither. I don't really care as long as I have my fun. I believe we're all in agreement then. Yep, consider this one settled. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Richard didn't say anything. Mueller didn't say anything. Anyway, now that I'm up, I'm also down to take lead again, and I'd appreciate it if you backed me up. No problem. Seems like you're all ready to move on. While you're advancing through the 6th plane, I'll do all that I can on my end to find out more about the 7th. Of course, if you need my support, I'll be happy to provide it through the cube and the monuments as I always have. Now that you mention it, we haven't really thanked you for all the help you've given us since we got here, have we? Thanks, Celeste. We couldn't have done this without you. We truly are in your debt. Please think nothing of it. I am but a shadow, placed here with a duty to fulfill. I believe helping you will be part of that duty. If I may, allow me to help you however I can. Will do. Sorry for worrying you too, Reese. But I'm just fine now. So please just leave everything to me, I'm begging you. Only if you promise me one thing. What is it? I won't make you promise not to put yourself in danger or to overdo it, but don't do anything that would make Rufina sad. You really know how to hit a guy where it hurts, don't you? So, will you promise? Yeah, I promise. I swear on her name I won't. I get to choose whoever I want. Nice, except for Kevin. Okay, so I think it's gonna be Loe. So I kind of want to bring Joshua along to get that little bit of Loe dialogue going. And so since Kevin is my caster, I think I can get away with it. Because I need to bring 3 people. So if we bring Joshua, Tata, and I could bring Julia. But I think we've finally outgrown Julia. So it's between Ren and Richard. And I don't think Ren is really all too useful as far as crafts go. Now Richard does some damage. Some crazy damage. But I also feel like, you know, Ren could get up there. You know, a new weapon gets her kind of close. I don't know. And then there's, of course, Mueller. Mueller's got 54 speed. We should probably go with Richard. But if it is Loe, then let's just go ahead and bring her. We'll see how she does. We could always swap her out later. Although I do lose out on my La Fort. I could just talk to you now. Okay, Kevin. Kevin. Action 2. Okay, so Action 4. I can probably afford to get rid of that. We'll keep it there for right now. Alright, I lied. Oh, you don't have any level 3 slots except for this one. No, wait, you don't have any level 3 slots except for this one. So we give you Sapphire Gem. So right here, put Impede 3. Then Cast 2. Then Range 2. Then EP Cut. Okay. So what's missing is Earth. We don't have any Earth in here, and that's because we don't have Haze. We gotta get rid of HP for Haze. I believe that does the trick. Let's see. Alright, so yeah, we'll rock with that. Now for you, I don't know if I want to keep that. Really, really don't. Oh, you have minus 9%. Okay. Buy 1 to 2. Go ahead and get rid of that. Give you hit. Absorb is Mega Blah. Go with Fortune, I guess. Does this seem satisfactory to me? Well, I guess I have to decide, like, what is she? Is she a frontliner? Or is she something else? Okay, so even with all that said, he doesn't even come close to Olivier's ATS. Olivier, well, no, actually, hitting 600 would be 1800. Was that like 9K or something like that? Or 1900? This is there's a reduction. Right, Ren. Give you that for now. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna get rid of Ren fairly quickly here. Oh man, look at that. The weapon he has too is gonna reduce his ATS even more. Oh man, I gotta sell stuff now. Life is hard. Oh, but we're gonna go to a new plane, which means we're gonna get a new weapon. Hold on. I just bought something that I probably shouldn't have. What was that? Alright, let's go to the new plane first. Also, let's save. Also, let's drop some frames. Not good for my future. This is the warp to the 6th plane, right? Time to hop on it then. Or hop to it. Are you sure you're okay now, Kevin? I'm fine, honestly. Never better. Anyway, we can't afford to stand around talking here. We need to get moving. You're right, I suppose. Interesting. Dropping us near the Herb Royal Villa, it looks like. The scenic route, I believe. This is Romal Pond, isn't it? Well, the next place to be recreated is the scenic route near the Liberlian royal family's villa, huh? Will probably be more dangerous than scenic this time around, though. We should start exploring as much as we can, but stay sharp. Oh yeah, I forgot about Joshua's ordnance too. It's a good thing I went over here and started checking things out. We need to give you at least hit 1. Give you cast. And I just get rid of information. I'll have to do for now. Alright, shop. Yep, look at that. Alright, Joshua. Okay. Oh, she's gonna catch up. Oof. Mega oof. The worst part about this is I've got... I have to, like, once I fight who I believe to be, Loe, then I'm going to swap back in Reese for the end because, you know, I think I know who the person is. And it looks like I'm dropping a ton of frames, so... we're just going to go ahead and buy my stuff here. And we'll end it here for today. I don't want to drop any more frames. Okay, so we kind of lose out a lot, but... defense upgrade is not too crazy. You might be able to save a little bit on that regard. Oh yeah, he absolutely has to have the upgrade. Sure, we'll give him that since I wasn't using that on anybody. See, this is a pretty big defense increase, but I'm gonna hold off on that. All right, and yeah, this is where I'm gonna stop it for today because I am dropping so many frames. So thanks for watching, appreciate it. I will not be back tomorrow or Tuesday, more than likely, because I'm gonna have a technician to check out the internet, and I might like test out my connection, but I assume it's just gonna be utter garbage like it has been. So I'm hoping to get a fix on it and all the other good stuff, and if I'm lucky, we'll come back Wednesday and I'll have the greatest internet ever, or at least back to what it used to be. So anyways, thanks for watching, appreciate it. See you Wednesday, I believe. Peace.